You are in diaspora, you have some money and you want to purchase a property here in Kenya, and the only person you can use is your brother, your mother, or your sister for them to buy that property for you. You ensure that you send the money to them for them to buy the property. But before they buy the property, my name is Nderu. I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and I deal with property and commercial law. So you send the money to them for them to go ahead and ensure that they buy the property for you. But before they transfer the property, they ensure that your name is nowhere in that property and they transfer the property to their name. What would happen when you come back after 10 or so years and then come to find out that this is the situation? The title is not in your name. They have constructed on the property, and the only thing you have is the receipt. You do not have any communication to show that you are sending them that money to buy the property for you, and you do not have any email showing that you gave them the instruction to buy the properties for you. But they went ahead and they ensured that they have swindled your money by ensuring that they transfer the properties in their name. So what are the legal issues herein? Remember, according to the law, the person who has the title or the person whose the name appear on the title, that person has something we call absolute and indefeasible right to the property. That is to say, your mother, your brother, your sister are the owner, the absolute owners of that property, unless you have any evidence to show that that property was bought using your money, or there is any communication that you are sending that money to buy that property. Remember that they hold the title, and that title cannot be defeated by just a receipt of you sending the money to them. Remember, they are your family. They can even say that you are sending the money for them to ensure that you are maintaining them on this end, that you are the person sustaining them on this end. And therefore, your money was not to buy the property. Your money was only to be used for their sustenance. I am here to tell you, before you send the money to any member of the family, ensure that at least you have an email, you have engaged an advocate for them to do the search, the consent and all those other processes, and ensure that even the agreement is in your name, the transfer forms are in your name, or under the power of attorney for a person who you have agreed that they be your power of attorney, and ensure that by the time you are sending that money, your advocate knows that you are sending that money for the purpose of them purchasing the property and ensuring that that property is transferred in your name. We have seen so many people losing the properties for trusting their family members, and even trusting the people we call pastors and chiefs in their society. It is good for you to ensure that you go to a professional person, the advocates, to ensure that they take you through the following steps for you to be able to obtain your property. Step number 1 is due diligence. This will ensure that you're not buying a loan, you're not buying a case, and you're not buying a property that is on the forest, public land, or a property that has been prohibited by the government. Number 2 is something we call the agreement process, to ensure that they have taken you through the sale agreement and to ensure that all the terms are clear, that you are the person who is buying the property, and upon completion of payment, you will get the completion document. The other thing is to ensure that you get a legal document showing that the person who is selling has given you the spousal consent for their spouses, and that their spouses have agreed that they sell that property to you. The other thing is to ensure that you get a consent, and that consent will be able to help you just in case there is a dispute in that property, to ensure that the Land Control Board has consented to the transfer of that property. And the last thing and the most important thing is that they have paid something we call the stamp duty. Remember, without the stamp duty, the transaction is invalid, and therefore the advocate will be able to help you to ensure that the property is valued by the government valuer, and that they have paid the stamp duty, and to ensure that the property is transferred in your name and not in the name of your brother or sister or mother. My name is Nderu. For this and more, kindly continue subscribing, sharing, and even commenting and recommending us to your friends.